Oh, my God. I thought that was an O'Reilly commercial. O'Reilly.
Auto parts. I had to say nice things about each other there, Brother Chad.
Of course. Again, Trump is very charming. He is. I've yet to meet somebody who hasn't, like, when they've actually sat down with him and stuff, and doesn't think he's charming. And Trump, I would not be surprised if in the next several weeks things change and Marjorie Taylor Greene and him are best buds again.
Oh, yeah. Because
Trump understands brand and he understands the fight and he understands all of the things that go into it. And it's interesting. He takes a lot of things personal, but he's also willing to forgive, especially if it can help him. And so it's, I expected him and Mondani to be, and they want the funny thing is they want the same thing. They just have a different idea of how to get there. When's Trump pardon those turkeys? Well, he's not because they don't have Bitcoin.
Don't they usually do that? I think that would be probably Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah. He's already exceeded his pardon quota for this year.
Yeah. It's like, because they normally pardons cost you.
Or a friend of mine has to tell me that they know somebody who needs to be pardoned when I've never heard of it.
Do these two have a partnership with my sons? Oh, my God. That's not very nice. Chad. It's funny. A lot of you, as you guys start to think, about stuff. And again, this is not hammering Republicans or Democrats. I hammer both of them because I'm an independent mind. I care about America. And it's not personal. I always tell everybody, was it George Washington that said, and I think you could say the same thing about politics, is when countries fall in love with another country or hate another country, you lose because now you're obsessed with that country. They become something that you have to spend more time. We should focus on ourselves. And that's what matters. That's why I say never fall in love with a politician, at best fall in like. Make them earn the second date. Just don't hand it to them.
And each subsequent vote.
Yeah.
And never just give it to them.
Jeremiah said something. It's funny, like the people can't be honest because, it goes to the Clinton. He's a hell of a president in some ways. He gave us a surplus.
Well, he gave us a surplus. I think, that was the last balanced budget we had.
Yeah, gave us a surplus. Because he was a great politician. He pivoted to the middle when he got his ass handed to him in the midterms. All of them have their flaws, but if you did well under him, or I did great under Obama, people are like, I would never say that. Well, whatever. I mean, people are so afraid because they think they're going to take some sort of card away. Did great under Trump.
I won't really be able to pass my purity test anymore.
Oh, geez, purity test. Cameron's in. Thanks, Sandra. She did tell us. She doubled up, said, yes, Cameron's in. He'll be in here straight ahead. You don't hammer the Democrats. You explain them and try to fix them. No, they can't be fixed because they're idiots. It's a problem. They ask me. You can ask me all day. I can tell you, but it doesn't mean you're going to fix yourself. And you know what? They're not the party in charge. If they were, you know what? I'd be criticizing them. You guys have a good weekend. We'll do it again on Monday. Has Mondani showed up at the White House yet? Did Trump meet him out front?
Haven't seen that yet, Brother Chad.
Because normally that's where Trump meets everybody.
Yeah, they had cameras on that little what's the overhang where they go? It's on the east side, isn't it?
Yeah,
they had cameras on it with some mics out there, but it didn't show them meeting.
My little communist is going to show up here. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. We're going to be good to each other. We're going to be nice.
Yeah.
Or they have ICE waiting there for him. You lied on your application. We're shipping you out. That's what John Voight wants. Oh, my Lord. You know what? I like the fact that he's going to sit down and talk with him. No problem with that. That's a good thing. That's what one thing Trump does. He doesn't care.
First words in the meeting will be, sorry about your buses.
Yeah, sorry. I talked to Kathy. She said, nope. I was trying to think the other day, like, what is he going to be able to do? Because he doesn't really have the backing of the city council when it comes to a lot of this stuff, because there's a lot of corporatism there, and he doesn't have the backing, for lots of, tax raising and whatnot. And Kathy Hochul has already said no.
Well, how much more can you raise taxes before people are just like, I have nothing left?
Yeah, I know. That's there. I mean, can you believe? I couldn't even imagine. And for, free buses. I've never, once again, the word free is always interesting, because those people who drive the buses, they don't donate their time. No, they'll give them the opportunity, right? Like, Mondani would probably want them to donate their time. Can you work for free? And you donate one day, you donate another day. That way nobody, and the gas, will get people to donate gas. But see, it's never free, because your labor is never free. You getting there isn't going to be free. The gas, somebody had to pay for the gas originally. I mean, there's always some, money that has to cross hands. And the reason that he was chosen, first of all, Cuomo was a joke. He was. Cuomo in New York was a joke, because talk about a flawed candidate.
Well, and he came across so arrogant, like it was his turn. I deserve this.
Yeah, you were governor, dude. You're not governor anymore. You know why? Because you killed old people during COVID. And let's not forget all the other issues with the alleged sexual assault and whatnot. And like you said, because he's a Cuomo, there's this sense of entitlement that he deserved it. And then you had Curtis Sliwa. Again, those were the choices. You know what this guy was? He upset the apple cart. He's a disruptor. He's a payback because people are fed up. That's what Trump was.
Curtis Sliwa is probably a well-intentioned, good guy who has never been able to win an election.
No. What does he run, like 6 times, something like that?
I was going to say 8.
Yeah, it might be. He may be running right now. I don't know. He may be. He might be getting ready to run again. But this whole thing with like him, and then of course you got Afton, and everybody they were all excited about this, and this was a podcast from years ago. And it's funny because we played it yesterday, and for everyone we got, she's evil and bad, and you guys would say that anyways because you didn't like her. There was several people who go, yeah, I would never vote for her, but I agree. I don't like those little stupid, what are those bikes called? The bar bikes or whatever they're called?
Pedal taverns.
Yeah, the pedal taverns and the woo-woo girls. Yeah, I don't like that either.
And let's face it, the overwhelming majority of Nashville citizens get annoyed by those things too.
Yes, of course. Of course. But it's who said it that matters, right? It's like the Epstein stuff. Everybody wants their team to not be involved. First of all, stop taking it as a team thing. But did I think that she said that? No, you know what? And meant like, I hate Nashville. I think it's quite the opposite. I think she loves it and she wants to try. She genuinely believes that she's trying to do good. Does it mean it's going to come off good? No, it's the law of unintended consequences. Because as we've seen, you give these people, any of these people who want to put their stuff into full effect, what ends up happening? Doesn't work the way they think. It doesn't. But she's made it close. And she's made it close because Matt Van Epps and the Republicans have taken for granted that it's an easy win. And they've clawed their way back into this from like 20-some points to where it is right now. Hey, Ken, can you hear me? What was did Trump won that district by what, like 17 points, 18 points, some ridiculous thing like that?
I'd have to look it up, but yes.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure it was by a lot. I'm sure it was double digits.
Yeah. So I kind of feel bad for Sliwa. Hell, the mafia tried to kill him. Yeah, if you've never read this, if you've never seen what Sliwa went through, the guy who ran with the beret and headed up the Guardian Angels, the mafia went after his ass hard. I feel bad for him too in that level. And of course the usual horrible things to say about Afton, but no, I'm not shilling for her. I'm just honest, right? Stop picking teams. I'm not shilling for her. You weren't going to vote for her anyways. But you know what? Who's run a horrible campaign? Be honest, Van Epps run a horrible campaign.
Yeah, Trump won the 7th district by 22%.
By 22%. And this is down to single digits probably right now. And it may get closer. And what'd you say? Drink Pepto-Bismol the night of?
2 shots.
2 shots. We're doing a 2-shotter. You let it get too close. She went out. She's busting her butt. She's campaigning everywhere. Matt Van Epps didn't do, like Chris was saying, where was the social media yesterday when you had a chance to go to the pedal taverns, when you had a chance to do some of those things? Even, you didn't. You do this. You go and you play it safe. You know what people don't want anymore? They don't want that corporatist stuff. They don't want that shined kind of feel that makes it feel like that you're towing the company line shill. People want authenticity. That's the one thing. Trump brought so many people in that didn't pay attention to politics because he was authentic. He was. And that's what people want. And Van Epps has had more than ample opportunity. And even yesterday, it's just, if you were to go to central casting, he's exactly what you would get. Like, give me this guy. Give me the conservative version, but a little bit shorter, of Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, right now, reports, let's see, this is internal Democratic polling, okay, cited by Politico. Bain trails Van Epps by 8 to 10 points.
It should never be that close. But
that's all just a testimony of the fact she's been out there busting her ass.
Yeah. And the fact that right now, the polls show that people are pissed at the Republicans. People are angry that life feels like it's more unaffordable, because it is. People are, we get this. Like, this has happened throughout time in the world of politics. The party in power, usually in the midterms, suffers some sort of loss. But this is different now. There is because the party in power really is Donald Trump. And everybody knows where their bread is buttered, but that only goes so far. But she's out doing stuff. And like I said, outside of some commercials. And the one thing I saw him with Marsha Blackburn, I've not seen him do, because what's he do? He goes to the places where you have to go out, and in today's world especially, all politics is local. Going to safe places isn't going to get you over the line, because you need independence. And right now, the Republican Party is underwater with independence.
And that's what Trump did.
Yes,
Trump went into enemy territory.
Yeah.
And Kamala did not.
So, no, she didn't. The failure of Kamala in so many ways. First of all, she was never authentic. Because, you know what? I think Kamala, like a lot of these people, and they are so, it's almost a character they end up playing. And they don't know how to not bring their guard down and be a person. And that's where Trump was great at. And, even today, Mondani's going there. Trump's going to say that they're going to, but he said, it's going to be civil. Yeah, it's going to be fun. They're going to laugh and they're going to talk about stuff. And they're both talking about affordability and stuff. It will be civil. And he's genuine and he's charming. But Trump goes, that's always, I used to get so frustrated with Republicans. I remember talking to Rance Priebus about this when he was running the Republican Party. And I said, when are you going to go out and try to go after the black vote? When are you going to go out and go after the Latino vote? When are you going to go out and go after the votes that you guys normally would get? And you know what he said to me? He said, we put our message out there. They know where we are. I'm like, well, keep doing what you're doing, bro. It's not going to work. Go. Meet the people. Shake the hands. Find out why people don't like you. And a lot of times it's because they don't understand exactly what it is because they're being told something. Go into the lion's den and show them, hey, I'm here. Even if you don't like me, let's talk about it. Let's find if we can find some commonality. Because you've got to be able to get those independents over the line. And, I'll say one thing. Bell worked his ass off to get Van Epps in there. And again, he was a very nice guy. And I do still think he's going to win. But Afton will come in here. She's been on my show 3 times. We don't, and normally, by the way, the left, they won't go on anything. They won't. The right will usually go on stuff. I'm finding it a lot different nowadays.
Fetterman's on Fox News right now.
Yeah, Fetterman is.
He's going to have his own show on Fox News at this rate.
He is. I bet you he switches over to an independent.
That would not surprise me at all, especially the way the Democrats are treating him right now.
Yeah. I think he's going to go and switch over to becoming an independent.
Well, that's what both parties do to anybody who is not one or the other.
Yeah,
it's you go along with groupthink or else.
And unlike, say, Angus King and Bernie Sanders, who are independents, but they caucus with the Democrats, I wouldn't be surprised if he will at times co-caucus with the Democrats and the Republicans.
He probably would.
Which is great. We need more of that. We absolutely need more of that. So, it's somebody said, I will never vote for a Democrat, but I think it's a bad word. Why would you never vote for a Democrat? What is it that scares you?
I can answer that.
What do you think it is?
Policies. That's why
I know
won't.
why you won't, but it's a difference. Is it policies from the over progressive side or just a regular old flat Democrat side?
Just in general, because growing up, I always saw Democrats as the people that would come in and say, hey, look, we only want to take a little bit of your rights. We'll let you keep the rest for us to take later.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And big government is one of the most anti-liberty things that has ever been created on this planet.
Yeah. Well, and again, MAGA is not conservative. They're not Republicans. Trump is not a Republican. He is not conservative. Nothing about Trump really is conservative. Trump does a lot of stuff for effect. Trump is he's his own person. He's his own beast. He does his own thing. There's no smaller government, right? There's none of that stuff with them. There's no fiscal restraint.
$1.8 trillion deficit this year.
Yeah, there's none of that stuff that's out there that you would think Trump is whatever he has to be. He's malleable. You know what he is? He's a chameleon.
Well, and he's floating $2,000 dividends.
Yeah. Well, yes. I'm waiting for the. Can I put my face on the check again?
$38 trillion in debt, but if you're in the right stratus as far as income, we'll send you a check.
So so funny. You know, he's asking everybody. I remembered when he wanted to send out those second checks and he was figuring out if he could put his face on it. Oh, goodness me. That is fantastic. Coming up, we'll do a little Finally Friday. And then, you know what? We'll take some of your text messages. I want to hear from you guys on the text line. What do you think the Republicans do better than the Democrats across the board?
What do you think they do worse?
What do you think the Democrats do better than the Republicans? Because I know there's some Democrats and independents out there. And what do you think that both of them do that's crap?
The Democrats smoke the Republicans when it comes to messaging.
Oh, absolutely. Well, the problem is they've got a better message. And if you look at the numbers, like data, the data points, that certain things for the Democrats. The problem is the messenger that's the best out there is Trump. The messengers that they have over on the Democratic side, My God, you might as well have Helen Keller.
Come on, man. Chuck Schumer.
Yeah, but look at the way this whole the ACA subsidies have played out. They have made Obamacare made a mess of things.
It did.
This is directly caused by Obamacare, and that was a Democrat-only piece of legislation.
Yeah.
But they have gone out there and they have sold it and sold it and sold it that the Republicans are taking away your health care.
No, they're not. That's all you. Republicans have to fix it. I don't think they're going to fix it, but they have to fix it. Both of you guys need to fix it. Stop arguing over spilt milk and pick the damn milk up, you two.
We got to get to a point where Congress is actually working together on things, man. I mean,
no. Then they'll start spending more money.
Well, no, but we need to have some sort of, but the thing is, if we can get them to actually talk and compromise, they'll take stuff away from each other. So they'll hopefully only spend more of the money.
Otherwise, we're just going to have a repeat of, if a Democrat gets in 2028, it's just going to erase Trump's executive orders.
It's going to be whiplash. All right, coming up, finally Friday sounds. A lot of stuff still to get to. Chad Benson, Super Talk 987. Jeremiah text the show talking about, a lot of people say, oh, Democrats hate America. No, they don't. Remember, when you hear stuff, it's all for effect. Everything's a show. If I can get the most do you know how easy it would be for me to do an outrage show? Where I just go and I find outrageous clips and I play them and everybody reacts and you think, well, that's what everybody's like, right? It's and the left does it too, right? They make it seem like that everybody's Nick Fuentes. They all hate the Jews. They all hate black people. It's not true. It's all about emotion. My thing is, and I've always said this, I want people to go, all right, let's talk about stuff for real. Let's be independent. I'm not buying, because the thing is, if I'm a Republican and I know I have your vote, I don't care. You don't care what I do, right? I heard somebody today call on Chris's show, and he said, and I thought it was great. He said, the Republicans, and he was a Republican, he goes, they treat me like the Democrats treated the black vote, where I've got you, I don't have to work for you, I can do anything you want, and it doesn't matter. Never marry a politician. Just date them and make sure that they're always putting the effort in, or you'll find something else. And that may include, I'm done voting, because a no vote is just as damaging. It is. And we are so much closer together. In fact, Gallup has a new poll out. And the poll that they have out is about what we actually believe. And it's Republicans and Democrats. It's not just it's just that. No, it's a vast majority of us, 80+%, 84%, believe in the same thing. Political compromise, multiculturalism, including that, the influence of the wealthy, facts and opinions. We believe in so much of the same thing. And yet, remember, the algorithms is meant for us to fight at each other's throats. That's what it's there for. It's there for us to yell at each other. And, somebody said it earlier, politics has just become TikTok. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. That's so true. Because, you've got friends who, your neighbor, if they're Democrat, I can't talk to them. Why couldn't you talk to them? Yeah. Are there a-holes on both sides? Yes, of course. But both sides, you know what they want? Whatever's best for them. Whatever's best for them. They're not interested in it's party first, personal second, and whatever's left for the people, great. But if you think they have their heart in it, that it's just best for the people, very few of them do. Very few of them do. I mean, I think a lot of it too is Back in the day, you go way back in the day, it used to be one of those things where people feel it's kind of their duty to get into politics after they had a successful career. So they have a successful career, they become something in their cities, and they feel like, you know what, I need to do something to help out because I feel like we're getting off track, and I think we can put us back on track. And nowadays, you have kids who are like, their goal is to be a politician. And they go straight out to D.C. because they look at it as a career. You know, they don't vote for, you know, you should go somewhere, spend a little bit of time, leave your mark, and then that's it. You shouldn't go there when you're 32 and leave when you're 84. That's crazy. But we have that now. We have that. I mean, think about, you know, Biden. Biden was the youngest senator in the 70s. He was just president last year. That's just what the hell's going on? So that's why I always tell everybody, pop your bubble that you're in, find out, you know, what's true, what's not true. Because we have this weird world now where it is lies by omission, it is telling half-truths, it's affirming what you want to hear, but not telling you the truth. If somebody lied to me all the time because they thought that's what I wanted to hear and it would be better, and then I found out it was BS and everything went wrong, why would you continue to go back to them for any kind of advice or to run anything? And that's what we do with politicians on both sides. You look at the black voter. People keep voting for over and over again for Democrats who come every 2 to 4 years and promise you the world that they're going to fix all the ills, and they do none of it. And they'll show up in 2 to 4 years. And they do the same thing over and over again. And over and over again. And I'm an independent thinker. I've always been that way. I want to know everything. Like, okay, you're telling me all this stuff. What is it? And a lot of what the Republicans win on is they won a lot of cultural issues. But that only goes so far. You know, it does. You know, it's like I sit there and like women in men's, you know, men and women's sports. Is that the biggest issue in the world? No. What is there, 8? There was 8 athletes? Okay, well, they shouldn't be in there. Let's get them out. We move on with ourselves. And we're not saying be mean to them. I'm not saying any of that stuff. Just let's move on from that. Showing kids ridiculous stuff in 3rd grade. It's 50 Shades of Grey. No, I don't think the kid needs to learn this. Okay, those things are ridiculous. But those are the outliers and the extremes. And what does it do? It causes you to have emotion. And then the left does the same thing where it's just about getting reaction from you. What do? They go out there. Trump, you know what? He's like Hitler. He's just like Hitler. He's out there and he's coming for you and they have concentration camps. They have again, lies. Why is that? Because they know it'll evoke an emotion on the other side. What do I care about? The policies. What are your policies? How are they going to affect me? Who's paying you and who's getting a giant break? And why are we going more and more in debt? Right? Like the debt. Do you realize, I think is it Niall Ferguson is one of the great like historians and of economics, said almost every nation where their service to the debt outgrows their entitlements is the beginning of the end of every nation. And we're almost there.
I remember my Congress members in Idaho back in the early 2000s. I mean, in the early 2000s, they were saying this is the greatest threat to the United States is our debt. And that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Was that what caused Greece's meltdown?
Yes. Well, for Greece's meltdown was everybody retired at 50 and they earned like 110% of their retirement earnings a year. And nobody worked. And so eventually it went from Because we need about 12, to be comfortable, 10 to 12 people working to cover, people that are retired. They were almost 1-to-1.
Wow.
You mean 10 to 12 people
who are in the workforce
collecting?
Paying in while there's a retired person.
So 12 people paying in to one person taking
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Okay.
And you can't have 4-to-1. 1-to-1 is insane. And that 1-to-1 is you're retired and you're making more money than the person that's working. I mean, Greece is so upside down. We could have, I'm surprised Europe didn't go and repo it, move it somewhere else. Remember, was it France last year? They're like, we're going to have to move our retirement age from 52 to 54. Everybody stop working.
They freaked out.
Freaked out.
And here's the thing. I mean, is it crazy to ask if we're going to float giving middle and low income Americans a $2,000 dividend, can't we just take all that money and pay down some of the debt?
That's what we should have done. That's exactly, because the whole thought was we're going to take that money and start paying down some of the debt, which, by the way, it's taxpayer money. That's who pays for those tariffs is the taxpayer, you and I and the importer. But I thought our goal was to pay down the debt, and instead we're adding $1.8 trillion to the debt.
$2,000 can buy a lot of votes.
That's exactly also what it is. Because if you notice when they're talking about sending them out, what did they say, next September?
Middle of next year.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but we are close to overdoing it when it comes to our debt. And once we get to that point, why Rome failed. Rome failed because it was what? It was free wine, free food, tons of debt. And oh, by the way, everybody, let's have the circus in town and we'll play the games. We're getting to that point now where we are so overdone with debt. And that's a huge, you want to talk about a real risk to us when it comes to national security? That's a huge thing.
I wonder what percentage, like all three of us are basically the same age.
Yeah.
Like how much are we going to get in Social Security when our time comes? Is it even going to be there?
It's not going to be there. And because what's going to happen in a few years, because it's going to, first of all, it's supposed to run out in 6 to 8 years like Medicare. And then what's going to happen is it's going to accelerate and it'll be like 4 years. And then when push comes to shove and you can't kick the can down the road, people are going to have to make harsh decisions and they're going to cut back. And then everybody's going to go, you guys were serious about the debt? Yeah. Yeah. George Bush, the first Bush, he said, read my lips, no new taxes. What happened? He had to add taxes. Why? Because he knew he had to do it to start cutting down into some of this stuff. Not like he wanted to, but you have to do the things sometimes that you don't want to do. And that includes lowering taxes, but you have to do it. We don't even care about it now. We have this bizarre world where we can just think we can print the hell out of money and it'll last forever. And we're spending like a drunken sailor. And guess what? We're running out of money. We're running out of money. All right, coming up, who's in for Matt today?
I don't know. I didn't know Matt was out.
I think it's Cameron Smith.
Is it Cameron?
That makes sense.
Yeah, probably. Cameron won't be in here because we know that. Because Cameron's always, he's like getting stuff ready. Cammy, I know you're getting stuff ready. But he will be up here in a little bit. It is Chad Benson. We'll wrap it up straight ahead.